wanted to take you all on a tour of my studio. Put it together. I've been working on this thing for like 9 months. And so to finally have my own space to write and record music and conduct all the various art things that I do is a pretty big deal. So just wanted to walk you all around and kind of show what's up. First stop, this is my music shrine almost. So a lot of the stuff, obviously my music collection, which is where a lot of this stuff started, brand new stereo. And then a lot of the signed posters, so that's when I saw Blue October, one of my favorite lines from Lamb of God's Ghost Walking, and then I met Demon Hunter in Lubbock, Texas. That's from my deluxe edition of Seether, and then you got the various signed from 12 Stones, which I ordered, and then 10 Years. Right here, you got some of the tickets. So a lot of anybody who's been paying attention to my story, this right here is the Lone Star CD that I actually got signed when I met them in Belfield. And then this right here is the Garth Brooks ticket, the first concert that I ever went to back in November of 1997. So just a little place to kind of pay homage to my roots and what I do. That massive CD collection, probably about 450 to 500 CDs. And then if anybody actually questions my loyalty to Garth Brooks, that's what we got right there, the anthology. And then I have actually the rest of the CDs that I've owned for quite some time in there. Now for music instruments, I'm gonna show them, but I'm gonna do a little bit more in depth in YouTube Shorts and on Instagram. But massive into ukuleles, got several there, and then MIDI guitar. And then over here is my actual workstation, where I put everything together, run a MIDI keyboard as well as a recording studio with 3 different screens. So I keep my stuff that I normally mix down there, and then like faders and things like that. So I got 3 different computer screens that I can do various things on. And then I don't know how in the world to record this without having the bar in there. They said something about adjusting the exposure rate. I haven't figured that out yet, but that'll be something that will be going on in the backdrop of some of my videos. And then down here, obviously got the recordings, computer, extra storage, and then there's my audio interface. These are my prized axes. These are the ones I like to play the most. You see the acoustic guitar quite a bit in a lot of my stuff. That's my favorite one to play. And then I have a screen up here, a light up here. This is what I turn on usually when I'm doing podcast interviews or any type of filming down here, just to kind of add a little bit of light. As a vocalist, this is my vocal booth. I don't want to get into a lot of technical stuff on this channel normally, but in today's video, I'm actually going to a little bit, just in case anyone's wanting to do anything for themselves. So what these are, they're like moving blankets, and you see a lot of like makeshift. I put this all together with PVC pipe, cut all that and all the the various joints, and put that together with the moving cloth directly over it. And then when you get into the vocal booth itself, I used 1-inch foam, 4x8, and then glued foam to it on the inside. Up here, I just got a cheap light that I was able to secure to the top, just so I have some source of light here. And then you got the pop screen and the shock mount and all that. And then I got headphones and then the actual microphone cable, which I've routed basically down through the bottom. So just a little place. This is where the magic happens. So as a lyricist and a vocalist, looking forward to spending some time, just get a little bit more deadened in here. And then here's the remainder of my musical instruments. There's my bass guitars and some more ukuleles, as well as the acoustic guitar that I played in Kuwait. The sound panels themselves, I built pretty standard. You're looking 2x4s with rock wool, and then I got a fabric on spoon flower that graffiti pattern, which I really liked. It had a really decent aesthetic, and I kind of wanted that. And then for corners, I wanted to not just have something that blocked, I wanted to have something that blocked the sound as well as turn that into storage. It is, as far as the overall studio, I basically turned one bay of my 3-car garage into this recording space, so space is kind of limited. And so I wanted to be able to use some of the space for storage of cables, books, extra CDs, green screens, different stuff that I don't use or need to have set up all the time. Then right here, obviously have the throne so you can sit and play. And then I have 2 amps. Again, not getting too into detail, but I got a various instrument amp I can do bass and like drums and stuff through. And then the PV amp, the Viper, which is what I do most of my electric through if I want to plug up. Down there, got a holographic lamp basically that projects onto the ceiling. You guys will have noticed on my YouTube short the universe or the moon setting. That'll be something that I'm able to throw up and to create a nice ambiance as I'm filming different videos or covers, what have you. And this is my Alesis electronic drum kit. So I'm not a very good drummer, but if you take a look down here, drums are by far the thing that I'm the least exercised on. But we got the double bass pedal, so I can get into some metal. It doesn't work that well on an Alesis drum kit, basically because of the size of the bass drum there. So I gotta try to figure that out. Not very much of a visual artist, but this is one of the things that I put together. A big lyric fan, and I really appreciate it. In Words as Weapons, where Soother says, all I really want is something beautiful to say, something to motivate and inspire me as I'm in here writing. Got my cables, my various cables and microphone, instrument cables, stuff like that, and then a nice crate. This is where I keep all my various like lesson stuff, my extra cables, guitar accessories, all that, and then my microphones. So I got multiple microphones, and I'll get more into detail with those as I feature various instruments around and kind of show what we're using in the studio. But we'll do that again in YouTube Shorts and Instagram, and then close off basically the other side with another one of these baffle / storage spaces. And then right before I close it up, I did kind of want to talk a little bit about how I did the walls here, and I'll put some images up as an overlay. So basically what I did is 2x6s with 2x4s, and then I did insulation staggered rock wool, and then I did 2 5/8 sheets of drywall with green glue in between, basically to reduce any type of vibration and make this a lot more soundproof. So as you can hear, there's not a lot of echo in this space, and it is fairly soundproof. Now, you can hear a little bit outside of the studio when I'm actually recording, or playing various instruments or even playing music over here. But for the most part, it is fairly soundproof. So yeah, as far as everything goes, the magic is, it all happens for Dualist Studios right in this space. And just as a word of inspiration, this has been a goal of mine. I've had various studios throughout my lifetime, usually just turning a random room into a recording or a jam space, if you will. But this is my actual first studio build, and this is a really big step in my artistic process to kind of give me the confidence and a place to start putting things together. So right here is where you're going to start to see, or you will see, a lot of where we do what we do, to include starting to put some music into production within the next 3 to 6 months of things that I've recorded, and just start to put things to track. So if you have a dream, if you have musical aspirations or artistic aspirations, pursue those goals, pursue those dreams. As long as it's taken me to put this thing together, I'm just very proud that this is the space that I get to do what I do from an artistic perspective. So I hope this was all helpful, and if anybody has any questions or comments or feedback, I would love to hear anything from gear recommendations or anything like that. And just look forward to hearing any type of interaction as we move forward.